Shalom and welcome back to our Revolutionary Living. Today we're going to be reviewing the PawHut 2-tier cage or hutch. In this case, we'll be using it for quail, although it is technically designed for rabbits. It's pretty simple. It does come with instructions that are fairly easy to follow, and we did look up a couple YouTube videos for inspiration, so we just jumped right into it. It can be done with one person, but you see it's a little helpful to have someone to just hold it steady. And we simply started by laying down the front facing cage, the side pieces, which connect together easily with pegs, and then you drive in the screws. And from there you lay it face down and put on the back panels and slide in the L-shaped parts you see on the inside. I will say that it did come with these little spots that looked moldy to us, but we simply wiped it down with soapy water and vinegar and kept it moving. We screwed in the back panels officially after laying them in place, turned it upright, put in that last L-shaped panel, popped on the little parts that hold the gate closed, and then at this point you're just about done. The trays simply slide in. You have 2 of those, and we're getting ready to go ahead and get that ceiling put on for it. It is asphalt, which makes it good for outdoors. What we should have done is hinge the back so we can easily lift it to put the food in, because we have to use small feeders so that it can fit through the doors. But in this case, as you can see, we screwed it down, but it's not too late to go back, take it out, and put hinges to lift the top. And just like that, we are done. We have a place for our quails. Now we're going to start working on that brooder to pick them up. We put holes all around it so we can attach the new top, and right now we're going to cut out the center of the existing top that we can replace it with wire. You'll see what I mean in a second. We didn't have the best tool for it, so we used the box cutter to peel it back, and then went in with the aviation shears you see on the table to cut out the rest, and here's what it came out to look like. And from there we went ahead and laid over that cloth you saw rolled up and attached it with small zip ties using those holes you saw us drilling in the beginning. And this is going to allow obviously airflow for the quail, but also allow us to sit a hot heat lamp on it for when we have small quails or baby quails, chicks, to keep them at the proper temperature. And as you can see, this whole process is very simple. We've done this in probably 1 to 2 hours for both the hutch and the DIY brooder. Once all the fabric is in place, we use those same shears to cut off any excess fabric. It does get a little sharp on the end of the plastic and on the wire. You can just be careful, or you can try to file it down, but that's up to you. Now, here we are. 4 hours of a drive later, we've made it to pick up these 4-week-old quails that's going to be added to our soon-to-be homestead. Now, while we were completely prepared to brood our own chicks as well as incubate and hatch the eggs, this was a great option. So if you can find anyone in your area who has half-grown quails, this was great for a start, and we'll venture into incubated eggs later. It's not that hard from what I've studied, but I'm very glad that we did it this way. And as you can see, we have our 27-gallon tote that we drove down with us. We added in the pine straw, which we got from Tractor Supply, and then we'll put in food and water once we have all the birds in. But we're literally reaching in one by one, getting all the birds that was provided to us, transferring them to the tote, and they'll be ready for the ride home. Now, I am the young lady who likes to get her hands into it, so I asked, can I go ahead and try to grab some? I knew that I would spend more time caring for the animals than my husband, given that he works. So I'm home most often, so I might as well go ahead and get used to catching them, holding them, and if he have any recommendations for me that he could see what I'm doing. What he advised was me to just calm down. I was kind of grabbing them and kind of dropping them quickly, a little bit out of, I wouldn't say fear, but just, you know. And let's see how the third family member takes these birds being added to our tribe. So we got Dose here, and she thought the safest place was the front in my lap, and finally she calmed down, decided she'll go take a look for herself to get a better vantage point, look from the top, like, what is that I smell, what is that I hear? And we were so happy we decided to make a pit stop in the area at a local farm where they had animals available to pet. Other little rides you can ride. The biggest attraction for us was the wine slushies. And Georgia grown produce for the wine that you could buy there bottled. And after we, enjoyed our sightseeing and animal seeing, we made it back home eventually, another 4-hour drive, and simply just added that pine wood bedding to their larger housing unit. And you can see comparatively how big the 27-gallon tote is and how well they fit in there. And our hutch is double that size, and it says 54-inch. And we just reach in one by one, grab them. You can see here kind of their temperament. It's not acting too skittish with running away. Just when you set them down, then they kind of run off. But they essentially do allow you to pick them up, especially at this age, which again is 4 weeks. As they get a little older, they get a little bit more protective, more so certain birds or even certain genders. But for the most part, this has been their temperament for the weeks that we've had them, and they're just about full grown. Now, let's see the temperament of our shepherd and how she's going to take to having them now in our home. And she's more so concerned and curious, but not defensive. So we just use some of our correction commands to let her know, no, you cannot jump up on their house. No, you cannot taste one. She just walks around and check it out. And after a few corrections and she realizes they're no threat to her or us, you see she decides to kind of lay down and watch us handle the birds. Now she's more so just entertained with them, making noises and moving around. But she's definitely not trying to get to them. She does like to sniff them for whatever reason, though. Especially the pine bedding. Whether they're in it or it's being disposed of, she always loves to sniff the pine bedding. And that's it. We have them transferred from the tote. We're going to switch to the smaller feeder, as I mentioned before. The big one does not fit in the hutch, which I wish it did. This means I have to change the food every day, just about. A smaller water. And we have quails, folks. We are officially quail keepers. And as you can see, we had the hutch in the house for a while. And comment down below if you would like to see the process of keeping this thing clean and whether this is smelly, noisy, etc. in the house. Once again, thanks for tuning in. I hope this was informative, if not entertaining. In either case, we would love to hear what you think, what you would like to see, any questions or comments you have about quail keeping. And once again, thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Welcome back to RB Living, and hopefully we'll see you back again. Shalom.